Hi investors, welcome to the channel. Before we get into today's talk, a quick context. This video is part of an ongoing series on India's solar module theme, a sector I believe is at a genuinely exciting inflection point. If you haven't already watched, I'd strongly encourage you to watch my earlier video on MV photovoltaic. It lays the foundation for understanding how India's solar manufacturing ecosystem is taking shape. The link is in the description below. Now, why is this theme so compelling right now? On one side, you have massive tailwinds, the government's 500 gigawatts renewable energy target by 2030, the ALMM framework protecting domestic manufacturers, anti-dumping duties on Chinese imports, and a production-linked incentive scheme driving capacity investment. On the other side, you have real challenges, overcapacity concerns in modules, a cell supply gap, global trade headwinds, and the always present risk of policy reversal. Together, this makes for a sector that is neither a simple buy nor a simple avoid. It requires careful, company by company analysis. That is exactly what this series is about. Disclaimer: everything discussed in this video is purely for educational and informational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence and consult a SEMI registered investment advisor before making any investment decision. With that said, in today's video, I am presenting another company from this solar module theme, and it's one that has been creating quite a buzz since its blockbuster IPO in 2024. I am talking about Premier Energies, India's second largest integrated solar cell and solar module manufacturer, headquartered in Hyderabad. From a small startup founded in 1995 to a 47,000 crore rupee market cap company, this is a story of patience, timing, and the rare ability to be in the right business at the right moment in history. And we're going to cover it all: the founding story, the industry landscape, fundamental analysis, Q4 FY26 results, earnings call excerpts, forward guidance, peer comparison, shareholding pattern, why promoters just sold 2,289 crore rupees worth of shares, the government's ALMM-II order and its implications, FII activity, brokerage targets, valuation, and the risks. A complete 360-degree picture. Let's zoom out and understand the industry. Premier Energies is riding. India is on a renewable energy hyperdrive. The government has set a bold target: 500 gigawatts of non-fossil fuel capacity by 2030, with solar as the centerpiece. New solar installations in fiscal year 26 hit almost 45 gigawatts, an extraordinary 87% jump over fiscal year 25. Total module demand for the year is estimated at nearly 60 gigawatts. The numbers are staggering. But what truly separates this sector from other growth stories is the policy architecture protecting it. 4 pillars. First, basic customs duty. India imposes a 20% BCD on imported solar cells and modules, plus cess. Chinese imports don't come cheap anymore. Second, and this is the crown jewel, ALMM. ALMM List 1 already mandates that government-backed solar projects use only domestically approved modules. ALMM List 2 extends this to solar cells, and it becomes mandatory from June 1st, 2026. Here's the kicker: only 6 manufacturers are currently approved under List 2. Premier Energies is one of them. That is a structural moat very few companies can claim. Third, anti-dumping duties. In September 2025, India slapped 23 to 30% anti-dumping duties on Chinese solar cells and modules for 3 years, a direct shield for domestic manufacturers. Fourth, PLI. The Production-Linked Incentive Scheme rewards high-efficiency domestic manufacturing with government payouts tied to production milestones. More output, more incentive. Now here's the critical insight the market sometimes misses. India's module manufacturing capacity has exploded, from 38 gigawatts in March 2024 to over 91 gigawatts by June 2025. Impressive. But solar cell capacity? Only about 29 gigawatts. Modules are abundant, cells are scarce. And with ALMM List 2 kicking in, every large solar project in India will need domestically made cells. Demand 40 to 60 gigawatts. Approved supply 13 gigawatts. That gap, that structural cell shortage, is Premier Energy's single biggest tailwind. Policy, demand, and supply constraint are all pointing in the same direction. That's rare, and that's exactly where Premier sits. Let's dig into the fundamentals. Premier Energies is not just a policy beneficiary, it is building genuine industrial muscle. The business model is straightforward but rare. Premier is a fully integrated solar manufacturer. It makes both solar cells and solar modules under one roof. Peers who only make modules are at the mercy of cell import costs. Premier isn't. That vertical integration is a structural cost advantage that compounds every quarter. On products, the company covers the full stack: PRC cells, cutting-edge TOPCon cells, solar modules, EPC services, and operations and maintenance. TOPCon is the technology the industry is migrating toward, and Premier is already there. Capacity as of fiscal year 26 stands at 2 gigawatts for solar cells and 4.13 gigawatts for solar modules, with aggressive expansion underway toward 10 gigawatt cells and 11 gigawatt modules. Now the numbers. FY26 revenue came in at 7,824 crore rupees, up 20% year on year. Net profit hit 1,510 crore rupees, up 61%. ROE is a healthy 42%. The order book stands at 14,010 crore rupees as of March 2026. And over 3 years, revenue has compounded at 76% and profits at 370%. EPS tells the story best: 9 rupees in FY24, 21 rupees in FY25, 33 rupees in FY26. Now here's the context that makes this even more impressive. The company posted losses of 14 crore rupees in FY22 and 13 crore rupees in FY23 because stabilizing a solar cell manufacturing line is genuinely hard. But since FY24, the turnaround has been dramatic. 231 crore rupees profit in FY24, 937 crore rupees in FY25, 1,510 crore rupees in FY26. 6 consecutive quarters of positive growing results. That's not luck, that's operational discipline. Now let's deep dive into the Q4 FY26 performance. Revenue 2,230 crore rupees, highest ever quarterly net sales, up 37% Y on Y, up 15% Q on Q. Net profit 457 crore rupees, up 64% Y on Y, up 17% Q on Q. EBITDA margin 30%, down 3% Y on Y and 1% Q on Q. Q4 has shown small margin pressure, but at 30% it is still healthy. EPS 10 rupees and 14 paise per share. Operational metrics: solar module production 918 megawatts, up 37% Y on Y from 670 megawatts. Solar cell production 722 megawatts, up 59.4% Y on Y from 453 megawatts. This marks 6 consecutive quarters of positive and growing results, a clear sign the company has crossed the inflection point. The record PBDIT of 674.84 crore rupees and PBT ex other income of 559.27 crore rupees reinforce genuine operating profitability. Q4 earnings call excerpts. What management said. On demand. We are already seeing strong demand traction across all segments. New installations in FY26 grew to almost 45 gigawatts in AC terms, a fantastic 87% growth over FY25, with estimated total module demand of close to 60 gigawatts. On order book, the momentum is expected to carry through into the current year, and I emphasize, notwithstanding concerns around tendering slowdown and transmission delays. This is reflected in our growth order book, which currently stands at 14,010 crore rupees, up 66% year-on-year. On expansion, management confirmed aggressive capacity expansion plans, targeting 7 gigawatts of new cell manufacturing capacity to be commissioned in two phases, and 5.6 gigawatts of module capacity by March 2026. Total capacity targets: 11.1 gigawatts modules and 10.6 gigawatts cells going forward. On technology, the company has already commissioned 1.4 gigawatts of TOPCon module lines and 1.2 gigawatts of TOPCon cell lines, the latest global standard, positioning it at the cutting edge of solar technology. On capital allocation, management confirmed a disciplined approach to leverage with a debt to EBITDA of 1.56 times and a capex plan of approximately 12,500 crore rupees over the next 2 to 3 years, funded through a mix of fresh equity internal accruals and debt. Forward guidance, the big picture. Here's what the company is building toward: 7 gigawatts TOPCon cell facility, to be commissioned in two phases. This is the mega expansion that will redefine the company's cost structure and supply security. 10 gigawatt ingot wafer facility, under consideration, would extend backward integration all the way to the raw material stage. US market. Joint venture discussions reportedly underway for US cell manufacturing, targeting the Inflation Reduction Act-driven demand boom. Exports. US and Europe identified as key markets, reducing India market concentration risk. EBITDA CAGR. Analysts project a 43% EBITDA CAGR over FY25 to 28, an exceptionally high growth trajectory. FY27 revenue. The management guided for continued strong demand momentum, with the ALMM-II cell mandate starting June 2026 as a structural demand driver. Now comes the biggest question investors are asking this week. On May 25, 2026, the Saluja family, promoters of Premier Energies, sold around 5.3% stake through block deals worth nearly 2,400 crore rupees at 955 rupees per share. But here's the important part. The sale was absorbed by some of the biggest institutional investors, including Quant Mutual Fund, Nomura, Small Cap World Fund, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, SBI Life, Kotak, and others. Most importantly, even after this sale, the promoter group still holds around 58 to 60% stake in the company. And when global institutions aggressively buy the shares being sold by promoters, the market usually interprets that as a strong vote of confidence in the company's future. Chapter 9. Government Order, the biggest catalyst. This could be the biggest trigger for Premier Energies right now. From June 1, 2026, the government has made ALMM-II approval mandatory for solar cells in major projects. And here's the catch. India's solar demand is around 40 to 60 gigawatts, but approved domestic cell capacity is only about 13 gigawatts. That means a massive supply shortage is coming. Only a handful of companies, including Premier Energies, are approved under ALMM-II. This changes everything. Government and utility scale projects can no longer use modules made with imported Chinese cells, which means developers now have very limited domestic options, giving companies like Premier Energies strong pricing power and huge demand visibility. And the government has clearly stated there will be no extension beyond June 1, 2026. In simple words, Premier Energies is sitting exactly where policy, demand, and supply shortage are all coming together. FI activity and brokerage targets. Foreign investors are steadily increasing their bets on Premier Energies. FI holding has risen from almost zero at IPO to nearly 5.7% by March 2026. Big global investors like Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Nomura, Small Cap World Fund, and American funds have all built positions, signaling growing confidence in India's solar manufacturing story. Brokerages, however, are divided. The bullish camp, including MOFSL and PL Capital, sees targets between 1,100 rupees and 1,200 rupees, driven by strong growth and policy tailwinds. But the bearish camp, like Bernstein and Kotak, believes the stock is already overvalued and vulnerable to any execution miss. At the current price of around 1,013 rupees, the market is clearly debating whether future growth can justify today's valuation. Valuation: expensive or justified? Let's talk about the biggest debate around Premier Energies: valuation. The stock is trading at around 30 times earnings, expensive by traditional standards. But bulls argue this premium is justified because the company is growing rapidly, backed by strong policy support, ALMM benefits, and expanding manufacturing capacity. Bears, however, warn that the valuation already assumes near perfect execution. Any slowdown in earnings growth, policy changes, or delays in expansion could trigger a sharp correction. And compared to global solar manufacturers, especially Chinese players, trading at much lower valuations, Premier Energies is clearly priced at a premium. So what's the conclusion? This is a high growth, high conviction story, but also a high volatility stock. If the solar opportunity plays out as expected, the upside could continue. But investors must be ready for sharp swings along the journey. Risks: the full picture. No stock story is complete without understanding the risks. The biggest risk is policy. India supports domestic solar manufacturing today, but any weakening of ALMM rules or reduction in import duties could hurt companies like Premier Energies. Second is execution risk. The company is investing heavily in new capacity. Any delay, cost overrun, or technology issue could impact profitability. Third is competition from China. If cheaper Chinese cells re-enter aggressively, pricing pressure could return quickly. There are also risks from raw material volatility, dependence on large customers, rapid technology changes, and possible US tariff actions on Indian solar exports. And finally, continuous promoter stake sales can create negative market sentiment even if business fundamentals remain strong. Conclusion: the verdict. Premier Energies is not just another solar company. It is one of India's few vertically integrated solar manufacturers with nearly 3 decades of experience, strong policy tailwinds, and rapidly improving financials. But this has also been a highly volatile stock. From 450 rupees IPO price to nearly 1,400 rupees highs, back to around 660 rupees, and now trading near 1,000 rupees, the journey has been anything but smooth. For long-term investors who believe in India's solar manufacturing story, Premier Energies remains one of the strongest opportunities in the sector. But investors must closely track four things: capacity expansion, ALMM implementation, order execution, and margins. Because in a high-growth story like this, execution is everything.